Thank you for joining me. The first presidential primary is in the history books. Do New Hampshire voters think their views reflect the mood of the country? They're weighing in on a special edition of Your Point. Describe your ideal presidential candidate right now.
One who can create stability and unity in our country.
Ideal presidential candidate would be very strong.
Somebody like Trump in terms of policies, maybe a little bit less antagonistic and getting people angry.
Someone who can unite the country.
Be able to work with Congress and be able to negotiate with world leaders in a strong manner.
Close to the Constitution as possible.
Really? How come?
Well, because I like what our forefathers came up with.
What's the most important issue facing the country right now?
I would say the economy with inflation's very high.
Well, China ultimately.
The border and the economy, I think they're tied together.
I think that we keep our sovereignty, which I think is people are working against that a little.
I think restoring trust is probably the most important thing.
Restoring trust?
Yeah.
You think people just don't trust government?
They don't trust anybody. Unfortunately, we spent 3 years of misinformation. It's only exploding.
So if the election were held right now, who do you think would win?
I don't know.
I think right now with Biden and Trump, I think it'd be very close.
I think Trump would win.
Oh, that would be a dogfight?
Biden.
Biden?
Yeah.
How come?
I just think he would because he's elected. He's an older man, and even though they think he's too old, but I think he'd win.
Biden's totally incompetent, and everybody knows it. And he's also representing the wrong policies. But people hate Trump. A lot of people. I mean, they hate him with a passion. I mean, I have personal friends that won't talk to me because I vote for Trump. Wow. I mean, it's just a religion with them. They've been so brainwashed by the propaganda that they can't see straight.
I don't think our best and our brightest are on the ticket.
Who would you like to see on the ticket?
Well, I think Buckley said once, take a few random names out of the Boston phone book. I would take almost any human who's smart.
Do you think Americans agree with you right now, have the same issues that you do?
Oh, absolutely. Without question. I mean, there are fringe Americans on either end of the spectrum, but most of us are in the middle.
Oh, I think you can feel it, 100%.
Honest opinion, I think an awful lot of Americans see politics as a baseball game or a football game. They're rooting for their team. They don't care what they stand for as long as their team wins. And that's not how I look at things.
We're back with a bonus conversation you'll only see here on CBS News New York. So you've been in public office for a very long time. Can you tell me something? New Yorkers should probably know a lot about you, but can you tell me something that New Yorkers don't know about you?
I think New Yorkers know that I have been in government, but I don't think they truly know what got me involved. And you know, when I was a 12-year-old boy, the same age as my son, my grandmother told me that a cousin of mine had become a member of Congress and was then running for re-election.
And that would be Bella Abzug.
And that would be Bella Abzug. And as a 12-year-old boy, I pedaled my bicycle to that headquarters, and it totally transformed.
At 12?
At 12.
What was it? You got bitten by a bug?
It was an incurable bug. And I pedaled over to Bella's headquarters, and the rest is history. And I loved public office. And, you know, I'll tell you a little secret, which I don't think I should make public.
I love secrets. Go ahead.
So, you know, most kids grow up and they want to be like, you know, the star football player. Well, right. I wanted to be the next Joe Namath, right? I thought I was going to be 6'5", you know, when you're a little boy.
How's your pass?
There's a video of me throwing a bomb to a big pass. But here's the secret. I then realized I wasn't going to be a professional football player. So I set my sights on my ultimate goal, and I was not even 12 years old. I wanted to be a state assemblyman. Now, who in there...
And you became a state assemblyman.
Who in their right mind starts out at 10 years old, 11 years old, wanting to be a state assemblyman?
Why did you want to be a state assemblyman? I have to ask that.
Because I went on a trip to Albany, and it was just transformational.
You like the $1 million staircase?
I knew you before. As a kid running around, I watched the shows, how you crucified some of these elected officials, and I wanted to have that opportunity. So why do I think that's relevant? Because government is meaningful. You know, when I had a district office as a local assemblyman, the 90-year-old who didn't get evicted because I was there, that means a lot. But you know what also means a lot? Passing important domestic violence legislation or thinking big about the future of the city. It's a truly honorable way to spend a career and a lifetime.
So New York is sort of like is changing all the time. Certainly it's changed a lot in your lifetime. I wonder, as you look at the way the city has changed, how has it changed for the better?
I think we've become more diverse. I think we recognize the power of people who come here. Think back not too long ago when we spent a lot of time thinking about how we could be competitive with other countries for the intellectual capacity of students from all over the world. That's why I expanded the universities in Manhattan when I was borough president, because we knew that for every kid who came here and stayed here, we would lead on issues of science and health. We've gotten away from that now. Now we fight now we say, well, immigrants are bad. Immigrants aren't bad. Government's bad. We've lost our way. And diversity is the best thing for New York City because the globe is changing. And we need a mayor who can think bigger than that and think bigger with our business community, with the people who live in our neighborhoods. And I hope, you know, in the time that I have, that I can make that difference.
So what are some of the worst changes?
Look, I think we've created a city for the very rich with enclaves for the very poor and nothing in between. We've got to go back to being, you know, an inspirational city. I'm not kidding when I say a kid who's in a homeless shelter or is a migrant from another country, give that kid an education, give that kid an opportunity, and we'll see it'll pay dividends for our city. And also, we've got a lot of kids who are going to our public schools, and they're already gifted. Give them the opportunity to get an accelerated education. If you are doing well in science and you're 10 years old, make sure that we have a high school waiting for you that will give you the specialization so you stay in the city. And look, I know this is a parent of two little boys, or two boys now, a preteen and a 10-year-old. Parents go and do what's best for their kids.
So one of the changes that people have noted and many times complained about is all the e-bike deliveries where people are going every which way, up one-way streets the wrong way, going through red lights, et cetera, sometimes on sidewalks. What are you going to do about it if you get elected mayor?
Well, here's what I'm not going to do about it. Here's what I'm not going to do. At the State of the City, the mayor said, we're going to have a new quasi-agency to deal with these kind of transportation issues.
A czar.
Now imagine, it's a level above a czar. Now imagine if you had the Department of Transportation Commissioner Ydanis Rodriguez, and realize that one of the biggest challenges we have are these e-bikes, are these deliveries, and the mayor pulls the jurisdiction from you because he doesn't have confidence in the Department of Transportation and sets up yet another bureaucracy. This is a colossal waste of time when we do have this issue.
Part of it is to deal with the batteries themselves.
Well, let's get rid of the batteries. They're dangerous.
But how do you do that if you need people that need electric bikes to make deliveries?
You make sure that we create a safe product, but you don't keep doing the same thing because innocent people are going to get hurt. Look at the fires, look at what's happening. Got to come up with a product that makes sense, or a battery that's not going to blow up whole buildings.
So you've told me a lot about your kids, Miles and Max, and you've told me that they play chess. I wonder, like, how good are they? Are you still able to beat them, and are they still playing?
They're still playing. Miles plays for Public School 33. We just came back from Orlando, where our public school team finished second in the nation.
Wow!
So I'm very proud of them. But
can you beat them?
Oh no, I haven't been able to. I don't think I could ever beat them. But during the last mayor's race, Miles was playing online chess because it was in the middle of COVID, and I said to him, "Hey, son, make sure you take the bishop. Don't you see that?" And he waves me off, and I said, "Miles, take the bishop." And he said, "Dad, that's the wrong move." I said, "Well, what's the right move?" "I don't take the bishop because in 3 moves I'm going to checkmate him." And I said to him, Miles, you taught me a very important lesson about politics, and I'm going to remind you of this someday. He said, "What's the lesson?" "Don't always look at what's in front of you. Always be 3 moves ahead." And isn't that true about government and politics?
It's absolutely true. So here's some quick responses. What's the last good movie you saw?
We haven't been to the. I watch movies. Whatever the kids watch, I watch. We don't. I don't go to the movies.
Well, what's your favorite pizza place?
If I tell you my favorite pizza place, it will be the end of my political career.
We'll have to discuss that after the show. What's the last concert you went to or music you've been listening to recently?
I have very eclectic music taste.
Okay, give me.
So, but again, I'm not going to tell you.
Oh, come on, you're being really secretive. People have a right to know.
No, I'll you know, it's not a favorite.
Let's go back to pizza. Bill de Blasio ate pizza with a knife and fork. Are we going to see you doing that?
No, but imagine talking about your favorite pizza shop. That doesn't get you very far. We have amazing pizza shops. I'm not going to pick one.
So in other words, you're afraid that if you pick one, that everybody else is going to be mad at you.
Yeah. I mean, could you imagine?
You're a coward.
Yeah, I'm a little bit scared of that. Yes. So
well, do you have a favorite pizza?
I like an old-fashioned pizza. I don't use a knife and a fork. I take it, I wrap it, I eat it.
Plain cheese, pepperoni.
Mushrooms.
Mushrooms.
I like mushrooms, but we don't order it because the kids like pepperoni.
But not psychedelic mushrooms. I'm not going there. So what's the most valuable lesson that you've learned in the last few years?
I've learned as a dad that the hopes that I have for my kids, as I always say to my wife, we work really hard because of the war effort to make our kids successful. And what I've also learned is that we are privileged. We really do well enough that we can give our kids basically anything we want. And I just think it's very tough for single parents or parents who don't have those resources, who don't have $50 in the bank, or parents who can't give their kids the extra lessons to move them ahead. We've had situations where, because of our ability to put money out there, we can give our kids what they need. And every kid has issues, right? And it breaks my heart that we can't do that for kids until it's too late. And that is something I didn't anticipate as a parent, and I think it's important.
Do you want Miles or Max to go into politics?
I do. I said to the assemblywoman on the Upper West Side not too long ago, I said, you know, I really think you have to stay in the assembly another 20 years. And she said, another 20 years? I'm going to, Scott, you're killing me. And I said, well, what about Max's assembly seat? She said, well, can't we find someone, you know, in the interim to take the seat? And I said to her, no, I can't take that chance. So, all kidding aside, I would love to see them in public service. But as my wife reminds me, it's going to be their decision, not my decision.
Do either one of them have any, inclinations?
So far, no, I have to admit. So I have to step back and let them become the young men that they want to be. They have their own interests and their own, their own hopes and dreams. I have to step back. But if you see me at 90 years old campaigning for one of them, don't look at me, Marcia, as someone in pain. It would make me very happy, but it may not get to that point. Okay. You may be interviewing them, however.
Oh my God, I hope not. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me, and thank you at home for joining us as well.